Yo, what's up YouTube? It's your boy Damontae bringing you a banger. Don't forget to go follow on my Twitch, please. Here you will never miss out on daily Payday content. The Sicario Sniper Rifle build. And this build was seen inside of the DSOD Black Cat solo video. So this build has solo ability is what that means. Let's go over the perk deck abilities. The first one being Smoker, which actually gives you the smoke bomb inside of your inventory. Now, as an alternative, the smoke bomb is actually deployed for 10 seconds, and if you're standing inside the smoke screen, you or your allies will be able to avoid 50% of all bullets, and any of the enemies that are standing in the smoke, their accuracy will be reduced by 50%. So actually it's like a double use scenario. You can use it in a situation to cover yourself and your team, or you can throw it in, into a hallway where the cops are shooting you from and kind of block out the damage that's being shot at you. Now as a secondary part, it actually has a cooldown for 60 seconds, but every kill that you get will cool down an actual 1 second. So if you just kill a bunch of things, you can actually get your Sicario smoke bomb quicker. The next ability is called Twitch. Every time the player is shot, they actually stack up a 20% dodge value. Now, this has a cooldown of 4 seconds and can only occur every 4 seconds. So with that being said, you can base your time periods of actually peaking around a 4-second time period so that you can try and stack your dodge up. And then as a more of an expert style player of Sicario, you're going to be wanting to actually stack your dodge up, as a play. You're going to want the cops to shoot you, and then you're going to, back off, and then you're going to do it again, so that you can stack up all the way up to 70, 80, and then after that, you're going to be able to make any move you need to. The next card is Subtle, which is giving you a 15% increase to your dodge, which is your passive standpoint, which is followed by one of the best abilities in the whole game, which is called Agility Shield, which dodging will replenish your armor and its full armor value and has no cooldown, and to furthermore, it doesn't even have a time frame based on it. It's as soon as you dodge, you actually have full armor. Very powerful ability here. Now when you dodge something, your dodge that you have stacked will disappear and you'll go back to your base, passive standpoint at that moment. But I do want to point out, if you don't have dodge stacked up, this still triggers because it's when you dodge anything, you actually get an armor regen. The Unseen Shadow. All of your perk deck effects are increased by 100% if you're standing inside the smoke screen. While any of your allies are standing inside the smoke screen, they will also gain a 10% dodge chance. Now, that is very powerful considering the first ability in this deck gives you a 50% bullet avoid while standing in the smoke. So essentially, if you're standing in the smoke with the last ability, you should be getting a 100% bullet avoid, but at the same time, you can't expect all 100% to just be avoided because that's not how things work here. Now since it doesn't use a Joker, I use first aid kits for my healing inside the setup, which isn't a bad way to survive either. If the player is positioning correctly and effectively, you can avoid damage to the HP and be able to handle crowds of enemies with the Gray Sniper. With the weapons that I chose here, you can choose through like 3 different semi-automatic snipers. I found that the Contractor 308 with 20 shots was just more effective than the other ones. Since the build uses crits, it can one-shot heavy units in that situation. But if it doesn't have that crit trigger, it does take 2 shots to kill a heavy unit. So with that being said, the 20 shots can make a difference with being capable of staying in the fight. The secondary SMG is mostly for refilling the sniper rifle. Now since you do have full crits, the SMG can deal major damage to the common cops. Now I like to use the SMG mostly for like destroying the dozer's faceplates and then pop them with a sniper from distance, but that's only if the situation is being played that way. Also, let's take note that the SMG that you're using can be very versatile. You can switch through just a handful of them as long as the concealment range is low enough. What I love about this setup is that I can survive mostly by myself. I bring what I need to the table and what is needed for surviving the mission, such as crowd control, DPS output, and that's mostly depending if you're using your primary sniper. Try to stay away from the cops, keep distance so that they cannot even, deal damage to you. And if you keep distance, then you will allow yourself to use the sniper with the grays and it'll do all the work for you. Yes, and I want to mention you only have 14 heals in this build, but you're capable of using it as long as you don't make that many mistakes. The 14 hills will make it through 15-minute missions, no issue, and that's just on average. Now let's go over the skills that I have in this setup. I bring first aid kits for the aggressive life regen, and then pair that with aggressive reload and graze for crowd control capabilities. Then I pair that with bullseye for aggressive armor regen, and then resilience shock and awe for the passive armor regen. I go for a surefire ace so that my SMG can pierce armor, and then I also grab a drill skill here. Then we pair that with sneaky bastard and sprinting dodge, and then we go for full crits, optical illusions, high value target, accuracy, stability stack up. Now the guns that we have in the build. The Contractor 308, we go for the suppressor for the accuracy stability increase. Then inside the boost, I go for the accuracy boost, but alternatively you can go for the concealment boost, but I just personally went for the accuracy. Then we pair it with the micro laser so that we don't get any statistical changes. Then we go for the titanium handle for the concealment buff. This part is completely optional, but I go for the see more sight, and then, it just kind of gives you a little bit of stability. And then to finish it off, we go for the folding stock for concealment. Now for the micro Uzi, we go for the Maquis suppressor for the little bit of damage minus and the concealment, then pairing it with a concealment boost. And then as the same for the micro laser on this gun, we're just using that for no statistical change. And then finishing the gun off with no stock, and it still yields like 94 or 92 stability. Make sure to use the smoke bomb a lot. Since most players that are using Sicario are surviving minutes without throwing the smoke bomb out, if you are using it, you are giving yourself more of an advantage to survive, and your teammates as well. Just keep that in mind when you're actually using the smoke bomb. It has a 1-minute regen timer, so you're playing around, with minutes of not using it, but then you're not willing to play just 1 minute of not having it. If you can easily survive with just waiting for the regen, and then as I just mentioned, most players are saving the smoke bomb, so if you're saving the smoke bomb for certain objectives and not using it in battle, well, you can still manage to use it in battle and still be able to manage doing it in objectives. It's not really that long of a time frame of waiting. It's 1 minute, plus you have a 1-second cooldown on every kill. Now, the 40% chance of the sprinting dodge chance is pretty high chance of actual dodge. Now, if you were to get shot and your armor is broken, now you have 60, and if you hit bullseye, you can keep that 60. If you were to dodge, you'd go back to 40. If they break your armor, or if you get your HP shot, you're pretty much dodging then. The average survival without Sneaky Bastard is 3 shots to 5 shots. The average with Sneaky Bastard is 7 to 9 shots. 50% bullet avoid is not a dodge statistic. I need to mention that as well. And obviously with any dodge build that you're going to be using, you're going to want to be positioning, target prioritization. Things like this are always key inside Death Sentence gameplay. And as most of this clip has shown, I've been running through, reaction timers and grace period timers because your timing is everything inside Payday 2. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please leave me a like, subscribe, comment on the video what you guys actually like about the build. If you think I'm doing something wrong, tell me what you think about it. If you won the mask code that was hidden inside this video, please leave it in the comment section so that I know that someone has actually won this. And the full game of this video will be on my YouTube as a weekly video soon. Oof. Just kick them, set them to private solo this. No, it's already too late.